To call the order, the first meeting of the Municipal Financial Recovery Advisory Committee. Today is Tuesday, September 29th, 2020. And we are in Chester City Council chambers. I think the first order of business is to explain the role of the advisory committee. We are operating under the Municipal Financial Recoveries Act, also known as Act 47. To assist municipalities in avoiding financial distress. The particular rules governing today's work is found under Chapter 7, Receivership, and more specifically Section 711, 711, the Municipal Financial Recovery Advisory Committee. The establishment of this committee is to meet and consult with the receiver in carrying out the duties under this chapter. The sole function of the advisory committee shall be to provide recommendations and feedback to the receiver on the implementation of the recovery plan. The composition. The advisory committee established under subsection A shall be comprised of the following: the chief executive officer of the distressed municipality or a designee, the president of the governing body of the distressed municipality or a designee, one member appointed by the county commissioners of the county where the distressed municipality is located, and one member appointed by the governor. Compensation. Members of the advisory committee shall receive no compensation for their services. The advisory committee shall meet with the receiver at least twice per month to discuss the recovery plan. Meetings of the advisory committee shall be in accordance with state law concerning open meetings. It is the duty to consult. The receiver shall consult with the advisory committee prior to exercising any of the powers under sections 706A, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, and 9. The advisory committee shall terminate in conjunction with the expiration of the receivership as provided for under section 710. So I think the first matter here would be to introduce the members of the advisory committee. To my immediate right, Mayor Thaddeus Kirkland. Mayor Kirkland, did you want to share anything?
No. First of all, just good afternoon, Mr. Receiver, Mr. Chairman. Look forward to working with this body.
Thank you. And we'll continue to the right. Kelly Diaz, appointed by the Delaware County council members. Kelly.
Thank you.
All right. And to my left, Councilman Jacobs. Councilman Jacobs, would you like to share anything?
I would just like to say thank you, and I hope we can be of some assistance as far as this committee is concerned. That's about it.
Well, we have a lot to tackle, so I'm sure this advisory committee will be full of opinions and of good advice as we continue to work through the process. And I'm sorry, the last member is not here in person, but is joining us via the 2020 new way of doing everything, teleconference. Director Kim Bracey of DCED, would you like to share anything with the group?
Good afternoon. Thank you guys for having me on this meeting, and here to support and assist the receiver's plan.
All right, thank you very much. I think the next item of business we wanted to get into is to share with the committee and to the public at large the status of the Receiver's Recovery Plan. And to that, I'd like to turn it over to Vijay Kapoor, serving as Chief of Staff for the Receiver's team.
Good afternoon, members of the committee and the public. What I'm going to do today is to take you through a little bit of the status of the Receiver's Recovery Plan. I'll talk a little bit about the plan. I think most of the committee members, have had a chance to read it, and it is on the web page that folks in the public can also see it. Just to take you back through this, the plan was filed on August 20th of this year. There was a court hearing in front of Commonwealth Court before Judge Crompton. That took place on September 8th. We are still awaiting the approval of that plan by Judge Crompton. He has 60 days from the date that the plan was filed, which if I counted correctly, would be October 19th. He could certainly approve it sooner than that if he so desires, but the statutory requirements is that it's required to either approve it or reject it by October 19th, 60 days from when the plan was filed. The city is currently operating under the Emergency Action Plan. This was submitted on April 23rd, 2020 by Secretary Dennis Davin of DCED. Until the recovery plan is approved, that is what the city is still operating under. The recovery plan, again, without going into great details, has several different sections. We look at the history of the city of Chester and Act 47, the legacy costs. This has a lot to do with debt, pensions, and retiree benefits. We provide an initial baseline forecast and financial controls. There's a workforce chapter, an asset monetization chapter, an economic development chapter, and governance and operations. The way the recovery plan is set up is the various chapters have initiatives behind them that the receiver and his team have been are requesting the court to approve. We've started working a lot already with the city. There's been a great deal of collaboration already. We've been having weekly meetings with the city staff, with the city leadership, and obviously working towards a positive end for the city of Chester. There's some obviously facing some significant financial difficulties at the moment, both in terms of the city's general fund as well as a police pension fund, which is based on our most recent projections, would be projected to be insolvent by early next year. So some significant challenges in front of the city, but a lot here in the plan that we are working on already. And I'm happy to answer any questions that the committee members may have about the status of the plan or the plan itself.
All right. I guess that falls back to me then. The next item I wanted to jump into was just a general update that I'll try to provide at each meeting. Dialogue, of course, nothing formal in that sense, but the main item that we're working on right now is the 2021 budgeting process. Those meetings will start next week. So there's a lot of behind the scenes with the receivers team getting caught up to what is included in the general budget for the city and what items in particular we want to focus on in 2021. More specifically to the work of the receiver's office, we are planning a town hall meeting for the end of October, about 30 days out. Still haven't decided on a venue and a specific time yet, but as those details come together, they will be shared through our website, which will go live next week, and through every other channel, medium that the city currently uses at its disposal. In 2 weeks, we will reconvene as the advisory committee, and we'll continue on that biweekly schedule for the most part throughout the duration of this receivership. In general, that's all I had is quick updates going beyond what VJ had just shared. Were there any questions for me for those few items? All right, hearing none, we'll move on into comments. Up until 12 o'clock today, we continue to receive public comment, and we will continue on that cycle moving forward. As of 12 o'clock today, we received 157 public comments. As diverse as the receiver's plan is in trying to address a multiple initiatives, agenda items moving forward, all 100% of the comments, all of the comments pertain to the monetization, potential monetization of the Chester Water Authority. This is not the primary focus of our office. That work is, or that project is in litigation, and that litigation will play itself out, and we'll deal with whatever comes out of those proceedings. But we are not banking everything on monetization. We are addressing all of the initiatives that are included in the recovery plan. with so many comments received and all of them pertaining to the same topic, won't try to take the time to read any of those aloud, but a soft copy of this report will be shared with all of the committee members, is available upon request for anyone who would like to receive it. Beyond that, the actual comments, aside from the voicemails that were translated, the actual emails and letters received can be forwarded to the advisory committee members as well. Any questions about those public comments?
Sure. If I may,
Please.
Mr. Chair, just want to point out the fact that you said, I think it was 157 comments basically focused on the Chester Water Authority opposing of the sale. I just want to point out the fact that only 11 of those comments came from Chester residents. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mine is more of a question, Mr. Receiver. Out of the 157, do you know how many are actually employees of the Chester Water Authority?
That type of research has not been completed. I don't know.
Probably even family members from the Chester Water Authority.
Kelly, anything?
Just one thing, Mr. Chairman, just for folks who didn't make the comments, I think it's important to know on the documents, we have the date, we have the name of the individual, the address, the city, again, if provided, zip code, and how this was provided. So to the extent anyone had provided a public comment, we have copies of those, and that is what you have on the sheet. So we just wanted to make sure folks understood that those were received by the committee members.
Thank you. All right, well, that's it for the public comment. And we will continue on in that format. Unfortunately, as these meetings we're still under COVID restrictions with in-person meetings, we have to continue to work through the format of receiving those public comments in advance. Please feel free to email me, or we will publish the channels we have in place to receive those comments. So I wanted to transition to any comments from the committee members. Are there any items in particular the committee members wanted to address? Well, Ms. Cleveland went through a lot of work to put this structure together, so I don't want to waste her time, but Director Bracy, was there anything that you wanted to share with the committee? All right. Well, it looks like we don't have any comments from the committee members, and we've reviewed the public comments. Before we adjourn, are there any items in particular, anything that the committee wanted to address?
No.
All right, I promise you that these meetings will become more substantive as we work through the process. This was just the first initial introductory meeting, if you will, to get acclimated to what the format will be moving forward. So I thank you all for your efforts, for volunteering your time, and I look forward to working with you over the next couple of years. Thank you.
Mr. Chair.
Meeting adjourned.